Okay, everyone, we're live. How we doing? This is just going to be like a really, really quick Hangout video. This is more for my benefit, really. I'm just doing a test stream to see that everything is a-okay. So the last stream, I mean, I used to stream on StreamYard quite often, had no problems with it at all. And then all of a sudden I ran into like really bad lag issues. So to the point where my reviews were basically inaudible. So if you'd like check some of the earliest reviews on this channel, you just can't hear them, unfortunately. So yeah, I made the move to Firefox. Well, I tried it on Firefox and it was lagging on there. I seem to remember trying it on Google Chrome as well, and it was also lagging on there too. That was a long time ago, so I tried the stream the other night. Streamlabs was working absolutely fine for a long time, and now it's updated to a new one, and it's not letting me access it at all. Like, I click Streamlabs and it says it can't open it. To install a newer version, I delete it, I install a newer version, and it just won't open. So Streamlabs is just gone, basically. So I'm back on StreamYard. I streamed on it the other night on Firefox again because I couldn't get my webcam and my microphone working on Google Chrome. And the results were pretty much exactly the same as they used to be. It was incredibly laggy and my audio kept cutting in and out all of the time. So I'm on Google Chrome right now. Now, when I was on Firefox, there was a little, like the signal bars on like a phone, or even like your Wi-Fi, like the signal bars on a Wi-Fi. I had that in the top left corner the whole time during the stream, and the bars were pretty low. Now, on Google Chrome right now, I don't have that signal bar, so I'm wondering if that means that everything's okay. If anyone's watching this sort of, short hangout or whatever, we got Carl right on cue. How you doing, man? I'm doing well. It's been a long day of work. I've not long got back in, so just, I've had a cup of tea. I'm very British about things. Had a cup of tea, had some food, and yeah, I'm just chilling now. Actually getting ready tonight to watch The Lion King in preparation for the live streams that I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So, well, provided that this goes okay, that's kind of what I'm on here for tonight, to check that this is a-okay. So I'm probably going to keep this stream relatively short. I'm not going to be on for like a huge amount of time tonight, because I need to watch it back and I need to make sure that it's fine and my audio doesn't cut out. As I say, Streamlabs is now a thing of the past because it's just not opening on my computer. They've updated it to a more, well, up-to-date version, I guess, and for some reason I can't access it on my computer now. It's not opening the program in the slightest. So gone back to StreamYard. We're just trying it out on the free version for right now, which is why I've got the lovely little powered by StreamYard in the corner. If this is fine and it works fine and I watch it back and there's no issues, then I'll start paying monthly again for StreamYard and we'll just move back over to here. Dale is coming over tomorrow and we're going to do a live stream for Aladdin, and we're also going to pre-record The Lion King to go up on Monday. So it's good for you guys because, I mean, you only have to wait a couple of days between those Disney reviews, and we will be timing The Lion King pretty much within the 30th anniversary. I think it was just a couple of days away from the 30th anniversary, so that should be pretty cool. So I'm going to be doing that after work tomorrow. So I'm just hoping this works. If this doesn't work and it's still lagging, then I was speaking to JX because I know he's live streamed in the past and he's used something called OBS. Now, I've never used OBS. I don't know how user-friendly it is. I don't know if it's easy to pick up or if it's really challenging. Carl says, I can just bring it up now, can't I? Audio is clear. Visuals are a bit lower quality, but not really noticeable. Yeah, I can kind of see it on mine, actually, that the webcam is... I mean, it's the same webcam, so I'm not sure why, but... I mean, I'd rather have the audio in place than visuals. Obviously, you want both. And I will probably invest in a higher quality webcam. I mean, this one, Christ almighty, this computer is really old. And this is a refurbished, more up-to-date one. But even then, it's still probably like 10 years old. So, yeah, I could always buy a new webcam and hopefully that works. But, yeah, just as long as the audio's fine and it's not cutting in and out and it's smooth and you can hear everything that's going on, that's kind of what I'm after, really. So, fingers crossed. Yeah, but how are you doing, more importantly, man? How are things going? I think I forgot to reply to your message on one of the previous streams. I asked you how you were getting on with your Lord of the Rings walking challenge. and you said that you've done the Shire. Congratulations, by the way. And you're getting ready to start Challenge 2. Now, are you going to do the shorter version of Challenge 2, or are you going to attempt the longer version? If you're going to attempt the longer version, power to you, because it took me a ridiculous amount of time. Speaking of those challenges, though, I have... Oh, JX has just said, is it working? It's working! I think so. According to Carl, the audio seems fine, but there is a little bit of a dip on the visual quality. But as I said, like I don't mind a slight dip in the visual quality, provided you can still hear me talk and everything runs smoothly. So, yeah, when I was on Firefox, I mentioned this at the beginning, but when I was on Firefox in the top left-hand corner of the stream, there was a Wi-Fi signal symbol, and the signal was really low. It was on like bar 1 of the Wi-Fi, and I don't know why it did that. It's almost like saying you've got shit connection, like it's going to be cutting in and out, like it's going to be laggy, or it's going to be really bad quality because there isn't much connection, which is strange because I've recently upgraded my internet, so it's even faster than it used to be by quite a bit. But on here, I don't have the little Wi-Fi symbol on Google Chrome. So maybe it's just a Firefox thing. But I do remember being on Chrome back when things were lagging. So that's why I'm still kind of... it might lag. Jack says, do you fear death? I'll take my chances, sir. But yeah, I was going to say about the walking challenge. So I've bought Challenge 3, the Mines of Moria one, and I've been working like a dog all the last few terms. But now it's the summer term. I'm going to have a slight little bit more time off. I won't have to get back to teaching until September. So I wanted to kick something off for the Mines of Moria. As I say, I like to try and pick a location or somewhere in the UK or anywhere that sort of visually represents or has some kind of connection to the places on the Lord of the Rings Middle-earth map that I'm walking around. And there's a great activity in Snowdon called Go Below, which is you go through like this old abandoned slate mine, and you can do like zip lines in there, you can do abseiling, you can do free falls, rock climbing. It looks incredible. And it's an incredible price as well. It's quite expensive, and obviously I've got to get myself to, I think it's Blenheim Festiniog. Is that how you pronounce it? It's near Snowdon anyway, but it's a long drive. And I'm like, I want to do that for the Mines of Moria. So now I've got a few extra days off when I'm rested and recuperated, and I can take a couple of days. I'm going to try and do that. And yeah, I don't want to clock my miles just yet for the Mines of Moria. Chances are, if I'd have clocked all the miles that I've walked, I'd have finished the challenge weeks ago, and it would have been, bought it, a couple of days, gone. But I don't. I want to do something mines related or caves related, and that seems like the best thing for me. So hopefully going to get that done now we're in the summer, and we've got some nicer weather. I can get on some more hikes. Whilst I'm in Snowdon, I might take a weekend there, because I also want to do... So I've climbed Snowdon before. I've climbed it a couple of times, but I've done it sort of, by like the pig track and the miners track and sort of like the bog standard routes that you can do. I really want to do Crib Goch, which is a death-defying climb. Literally, about roughly 8 people die attempting Crib Goch every year. Which, I really want to do it because it looks like an amazing route, and I think it'd be an amazing achievement. And once I've done it once, that's it. I can say I've done it. And I'm going to be in Snowdon anyway, so if I do go below one day, I can get like an Airbnb or a hotel or something, stop the night, and then the day after I can do Crib Goch early in the morning, and then once it's done, I can just drive back home. But there's that little voice inside my head said, like, Chris, you might be a statistic. You might be one of those that falls off the fucking mountain. And it's a knife edge. It's a knife ridge. And there's loads of warnings as you're walking up to it. And they say it is literally a sheer drop. You've got about like a meter or just slightly more of rock cresting across. I think it's called the Red Pass. I can't remember. It has a name anyway. But it has a sheer vertical drop off the mountain on the right-hand side. And the left-hand side is kind of a sheer drop as well, but it's a little bit more angled. So you would probably die. Well, you would almost certainly die if you fell off the right-hand side, and you would very much likely die if you fell off the left-hand side, but they say if you're going to fall off, fall to the left. So I've been watching countless videos on it. There's loads of people that have done like, POV and vlogs and stuff like that. And I've been watching loads of videos. I'm trying to sort of ingrain what the route is in my head. But I'm part of a group on Facebook that do hikes and everything, and they post events, and it's like, hey, we're going to be doing this hike at this time at this place. If you want to come to it, you're welcome to join us. Just accept the invite, and you can come along to it. So I'm kind of hoping there's going to be a group doing Crib Gok at some point. I want to go with a group that have done it before, that know the road and know the best places, and then I'll just join that group, because I don't really want to do it on my own, because if something went wrong, and things do go wrong, I'm fucked. So I'd rather wait and do it with a group at some point. Carl says, I'm good. Just started challenge 2. Was tempted with the 600 miles, but went for the shorter route. Yeah, which is still 100 miles. Still really enjoying it. Yeah, and that makes total sense. In fact, they actually recommend, you probably saw this anyway, they recommend on the challenge that if you're doing it solo, which I'm guessing you probably are, it's better to go for that shorter route. I think the longer one is designed for people, because you can join a fellowship, can't you? You can get loads of people doing it, and all of you chip into the miles, which I always feel like is cheating a little bit, because you could do, when you used to do like schoolwork or something, or at uni or something, you had like a group task, and there was always that person that did like bare fucking minimum and would still get the same mark. It feels a bit like that. Like, you could walk 1 mile and everyone else could walk 599 and you'd still get the medal for walking a mile. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, if it gets it done quick, man, because there's still loads of medals. There's 5 in that main series, and then they released the 3 Aragorn spin-offs. Well, it's the journey of the 3 hunters, isn't it? So it starts at Pathgallen and it goes to Rohan, and then the next one is Helm's Deep, isn't it? Is it Helm's Deep to the Paths of the Dead? And then the third one is to Minas Tirith, or the Black Gate, it might be. I'm not sure. Carl says, would you vlog the hike? It's difficult. I've never really done vlogs before, and I don't have any kind of camera equipment. I was going to say any kind of fancy camera equipment, but I really don't have any camera equipment at all. The only camera I have is the one that's on my phone. And I think probably parts of it would be really awkward to, like, if I'm scrambling, if I'm clinging onto the rock, like Mufasa when he jumps on like the rock, that's probably going to be me. Hopefully I don't have the same fate as Mufasa. That would be terrifying if I did. But I just don't think I'd have the opportunity to do one. I could probably snap like a whole bunch of pictures and I could put them on my community page on here. I could do that. I could maybe film some videos on my phone, get them off my phone, and then edit it together. But in terms of like an actual vlog, POV, professionally done drone shots, apps, I don't have any of that stuff. So probably not. And I don't know if it'd be, if people would like want to watch it. Do you think people would care? I'm not sure. Maybe like I could do some like shorter videos on my phone, because I always take my phone with me and I always do like a panoramic shot or something like that whenever I'm walking. But in terms of like actually holding the phone up to basically like what I'm doing now, but walking around on a hike, I've never really done that whole vlogging thing. But maybe it's something I could look into. I'm not sure. So I've got that planned for the Mines of Moria. There are some caves as well in Castleton near Sheffield Way that I was tempted to do as well. So if I don't get all of the miles in from doing Go Below, I could drive up there as well and get a few more miles in some caves up there. But I've walked to and from my gym 11 times, and combined there and back, it's 5.6k. So obviously times that by 11. The challenge isn't all that long, really. I think you've got to do like 64k. So chances are I'd probably complete it from just doing that alone. So I think I'm just going to do Go Below. I'm going to backdate the 11 trips that I've done walking to and from the gym. And that should get me challenge 3 in the bag. And then it's on to challenge 4. Again, I'm going to do the longer version because I hate myself. and this is gonna test every fiber of my being. So I want to, as I say, I want to try and match it. There's the bit where they sail, I think it's 346 miles down the Anduin. I'm going to try and do that on a rowing machine. I'm going to try and do 346. Now, in the book, they would have been going with the current. So they probably would have just, sat back and relaxed and just occasionally steered the boat as the current took them down the river. So I could probably shave off a couple of miles off that. I could probably just round it to like a neat 300 maybe. But I want to try and do that on a rowing machine, which is going to be very, very tough. But I don't know when I'm going to fit that in between everything else. Because I like to work out, I like to lift weights, and I feel like that would just be, I'd show up to the gym, I'd try and do like an hour on the rowing machine, and that would be it. So for the course of like half a year, I wouldn't be lifting weights. I'd just be doing the rowing machine, which is not what I really want to do. And then there's also the part where Frodo and Sam and Gollum climb the stairs at Cirith Ungol, right? And I think I equated it to, I think I worked out how many floors it would be. So I'm going to try and do that on the Stairmaster. So I am just going to have quads and glutes for days if my legs don't drop off before that point. But you got to do it. You got to put yourself in their shoes. Oh, they don't have shoes, but you know what I mean. Cole says, random question. How do you find gig etiquette when you go to see bands? Recently went to a few gigs and people just talk all the time and sit on WhatsApp while the main band is on. Why go? Oh, wow. I mean, I haven't seen, I don't know. I went to see Winger a couple of weeks ago with Dale actually in London, and I don't think many people were talking through that. It was quite a small gig. Are you talking about sort of smaller, intimate gigs, or are you talking about like big venue ones? WhatsApp's just weird. Yeah, like why go? It's like going to the cinema and just bringing your phone out and just texting while you like. What's the point? A lot of people record stuff, and I'm kind of one of those as well. If a song is playing that I really like and is like one of my favorite songs of all time, hell, that's probably why I'm seeing the band live in the first place. I'll bring out my phone and I'll record sort of like the first verse to the end of the first chorus, and then just turn the video off and just appreciate the rest of it. I do that quite a lot. Or if there's a guitar solo that's just, that's why I picked up a guitar in the first place, I'll record the solo. But most of the time, that's just for my own benefit to watch it back or slow it down and go, right, what were they actually doing there? Sort of, if it's a song that I'm trying to learn myself, I can go, right, okay, so he's playing that bit in 7th position, and there was that sound on the record. I never knew how he captured that. Oh, he does something with the whammy bar. Okay, so I can get a sense of it. So I'll record something like that. But yeah, in terms of being on WhatsApp, absolutely not. But no, I must admit, I haven't seen many people doing that. Out of curiosity, which bands did you go and see? JX says, are hot dog sandwiches? I mean, it is bread, I suppose. Yeah, I guess that, you know what? I'm going to Google that right now. Otherwise, that question is going to be keeping me up forever. Are hot dogs sandwiches? See, when I think of a sandwich, I think of, just 2 pieces of bread and you kind of eat it that way. It's not like, oh, like someone's going to clip that, aren't they? I was like, but you got a Subway, I suppose. You would. That's a good question. Oh, okay. So this is kind of what I was just getting at. A sandwich has the bread at the top and the bottom of the filling. A hot dog has the bread to the sides. It is therefore not a sandwich. So there you go. I'm with that. Turpy says, JX, you try to get cancelled. Oh, he's fine. He can join the club. I've been cancelled long ago. It's fine. Join the club. It's great. Carl says, was at the O2 a few weeks back and was crazy the amount of people glued to their phones. I went to see Tool, Smashing Pumpkins, and Weezer. Oh, nice. It's the modern generation, is it? It's actually funny. You go to London or you don't even have to be in London. You can go anywhere, any public transport, any train. You look around and everyone is on their phone. And I'm kind of guilty of this too. So maybe I need to practice what I preach a little bit. I am on my phone quite a bit. It's a habit that I'm trying to break. But when I'm practicing something, I'll always have my phone on like the desk, and I'll have a podcast on, or a review or something, or some long form content that I'm watching, or a let's play. So it's always there. And I feel like when you're in London, they have kind of made it now, the modern age, where you are kind of dependent on your phone for a lot of it, unless you know the place like the back of your hand. Whether it be for Apple Pay, or whether it be for like the tube route, like the tube map, or maps when you get there to find your location and where you're going. Tickets on phones now, because physical tickets seem to be a thing of the past. That really boils my piss as well. Cinema tickets, you used to get like the little ticket stub, and I used to save those. And I've got some of my old DVDs, like The Dark Knight, where I've got the little ticket stub from when I first went to see it, and I put it in the DVD case. But now they're doing it with gigs. I used to love saving my tickets for gigs, and if I bought a program there, to put the ticket inside that, and it's like a little commemorative piece almost. So it's all on your phone now. So I get that people are having to be more reliant on phones now. But yeah, if you're going to a gig and you're just not fussed, and you're just, but I don't know, it's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's Snapchat, it's all that bullshit, isn't it? So I don't know. Or maybe, Carl, I know you're a bit younger than me still, so there's still hope for you left. Maybe we're just getting old. So Derpy says the cancelled side is the fun side. Oh, I agree. By the way, Derpy, I am loving the thumbnail. Batman. Yeah, good man. Good man. Detective Comics. Derpy says theaters are definitely dying. Yeah, and I feel like I've contributed to that a little bit as well, because, guys, I feel like I'm letting you down. I used to go to the cinema at least, bare minimum, I'd go once a week. Most of the time it was twice, sometimes even more. Sometimes I'd see multiple films in a day. Unfortunately, I've aged a little bit now. My career has changed. My job has changed. It takes a lot of my free time across the week, to the point where now I only really get one proper day off, really, which is Monday. That's the day where I just have nothing on and it's free. I do kind of get Sundays off as well, so I could see something on a Sunday. Honest to God, it's mostly just because there are no films out that take my fancy. There really aren't. What have we got? We've got a dying Marvel brand, which I've spoken to a lot of. I hate saying normies, because that makes me feel like really like self-entitled and shit. But the term, like, normies, like they don't follow it. Like, they're done with Marvel now. They're all like, oh, it peaked at Endgame, and we're done. What else is out? What else is good? I mean, I still haven't seen Furiosa yet, but a Mad Max spin-off that doesn't star Mad Max at all, like, do I give a shit? Not really. Like, it could be a good film. It could be a good action film, and I will watch it at some point, just for completion's sake. But there's not that drive to make me go and see it. Carl's actually just mentioned this. Inside Out 2 was actually really good. Yeah, I do love the first Inside Out, and I've heard really good things about it. I've heard that for once, fucking finally, Disney/Pixar have made a film that isn't preachy. I mean, it could be. I haven't seen it. There might be some. They might have snuck some bits in there, as they always do, but it's not preachy. It's not filled with an agenda. It's just a good story, a good fucking heartfelt story, and that's all we want. That's all I want. That's all I want from movies again. And it just, why won't they get that? It's so frustrating. So yeah, now I've got a bit more extra time, a bit more breathing room. It only came out, didn't it, fairly recently, so it's going to be on the cinema for a bit. I probably will go and see Inside Out 2. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. As much as I really don't want to give Disney my money, because they've, of every other shit show project they do, I probably will go and see that. I will give it a shot. Carl says, did you say you teach? If so, what subject? Yeah, so I'm a music teacher now, which was my dream job. It kind of happened very quickly, and I didn't expect it to, but there we go. So I teach at sort of like primary schools. I drive around, and I teach at a private music school as well. So yeah, it's a dream job. I mean, I've still got a long way to go in my own musical endeavors, both for guitar, classical guitar, and piano as well. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's very trying at sometimes, but but you get through it. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's a great job. It's a very rewarding job, and you just hope that in some way you're passing the baton on to the next generation in some way. It's yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good fun. My whole life is basically music now, and I'm totally fine with that. It's just it's kind of gone the other way now. I'm doing so much teaching across the week that I don't have time to practice my own shit. So my progress levels kind of remaining the same or only ever so slightly increasing because I'm having to do so much teaching. Like so much of my free time is gone now. I pretty much do full days, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, even work Saturdays. So as I say, I get Sundays off. To a point, I have my own guitar lesson on a Sunday at 1 p.m. So I can't really go anywhere because I've got to be back for my lesson. So I tend to wake up early. I'll practice all morning into the afternoon. I'll do like a 4 or 5 hour practice. I'll have my lesson from 1 till 2. I'll get myself to the gym. That's usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So that takes it to about 4 o'clock. And then I have to practice that thing, piano in the back. So, and classical guitar too. So that's my Sunday. My Sunday is my catch up on my practice day. So yeah. Anyway, enough about me. Turpy says, I have seen Inside Out 2 explained by cats. Did you see the Nosferatu trailer? No. Has that gone up today? I actually haven't seen the trailer for that. I'm really looking forward to that. That is one film that I will go to the cinema to see this year. Yeah, it's a remake on a classic horror film, a silent horror film. My God, it's like 100 years old now, isn't it? Or probably coming up to it, not far off. But I like the director, and it'll be interesting to see what he brings to the table with it. Derpy says it's rumored to drop Monday. Is that in regards to the Nosferatu trailer? Yeah, I'll be checking that out then, 100%. Oh, there's a trailer I wanted to talk about, actually. I was going to do this in a separate video on the channel, but as I said, free time is a bit limiting, so I may as well just do it now. The Penguin, the Batman spin-off trailer from HBO. Have any of us seen the trailer for it? Like, what do we think? I'm still undecided as to whether the Batman 2 is actually going to see the light of day. From all the comments that I hear, they haven't got a script. Nothing seems to be moving ahead. You're going to have James Gunn's DC cinematic universe, and he's going to be doing Batman the Brave and the Bold. Are they going to want 2 Batman series movies competing? I know he's mentioned that he's going to call like the Matt Reeves stuff like Batman Elseworlds or something like that. But I don't know if it will see the light of day. It's been a lot of years since the other one. And the other one, it did make its money back, but I think critically it was kind of the low end of positive or just kind of mixed or indifferent. Now, I really enjoyed it. I think it's actually one of the earliest videos on my channel that I did with Dale. We're both massive Batman fans, and we enjoyed it at the time. I think it's a good movie overall. But I must admit, I haven't gone back to... I think I went back to it once, and that was it. The third act has a lot of problems. I wasn't okay with a lot of the changes in it, but I think Robert Pattinson could be a potentially fantastic Bruce Wayne and Batman as he develops. Because I kind of went into... A lot of people were saying, you know, he doesn't feel like Bruce Wayne. He's not the billionaire playboy that we know. He's kind of dark and brooding as Batman, and he's also dark and miserable and brooding as Bruce Wayne. But it's designed to be a trilogy. And there's got to be some progression. And we do see progression in his character. And Bruce Wayne into Batman does have a character arc across the course of that film. Starts off, you know, calling himself Vengeance, being really brutal and just filled with rage and anger and desperation and that youthful recklessness to him. And then by the end of that film, he realizes that he needs to be more, that he needs to be a hero of the people and a savior and, a symbol, which is a great character arc. And I think that Matt Reeves would continue that into a second film and a third film. I suppose the good thing about having a big gap between the first film and the second film is that you have a Batman that can be physically different, that can be you know, more of the Batman that we know. He's in the first movie, he's like, what, Batman year 1 or year 2? He's still green, he's still getting used to things, he's still refining his craft and, you know, what he does. Whereas I think in the next one, you could have that big time jump and say, you know, it's now the Batman that we know. Now, the Penguin trailer, I don't really, it didn't really jump out to me. I'll be watching it. I'm sure Dale will probably be watching it too, and we can bring reviews to you for that, because we love the Batman. And from the trailer, like, it is Batman 1.5. It is a direct sequel. It is picking up from the events of the other one, and I'm sure it will feed into the Batman 2 if it does see the light of day. Colin Farrell's great as the Penguin. The makeup job's wonderful. I love the look of Gotham, and I like that we're getting this sort of like criminal underworld. There's this power vacuum now. There's this power struggle. We've got Clancy Brown as Salvatore Maroni, isn't it? But then the Penguin's got like a sidekick character, like this young dude that just hangs out with him, and I'm like, is that just so that the Penguin can have a conversation with someone? You know, like Batman and Robin, you could argue that, oh, Robin's just there so that Batman has someone to talk to. Or you have to pair Batman up with someone so you can actually get some conversation with him. Is that why they've done it for the Penguin? It just seems really unnecessary. And then you've got this, I don't know if it's one of the daughters of Carmine Falcone, who could potentially be a good character, but in the trailer, it's just, again, it's terrible writing for strong women. Like, I'm fine with having a, you know, like in John Wick 2, you've got the daughter of the Italian crime family, and she's really like cool character, and yeah, I really like her character in that film. This one is like every line out of her mouth is just like, oh, I'm going to show all these men that I am so much better than them and that I can do this, and I'm strong and I can be tough as well. And it's just like, me, notice me, notice me. And it's just, if that's what they're going for and they're trying to make her strong by just her saying how strong she is, that's not a well-written character at all. So I hope there's more to her character, because she has the potential to be really cool and I want her to be. So we'll see. But I just think it's just a bit of a, I mean, Gotham was kind of a show about Penguin, really, wasn't it? At least series 1. I never watched the whole thing, but I know that it was Jim Gordon a little bit and the GCPD, and then it was kind of all centered around Penguin, is from what I remember. So we'll see. I'll be watching it because it ties in with it. So, but I will say, if it's terrible, if it's really, really bad, then I actually think that might have a negative impact knock on to the Batman 2 when it rolls around, if it rolls around. Carl says Batman was a film I enjoyed in the cinema, but never wanted to watch it again. Yeah, same. And to a lesser extent, I'm kind of like that with Joker as well. Now, Joker I have watched. Yeah, no, I think the same. I think I've watched that like beginning to end. I think I've watched that like one other time. And I really enjoyed that when I first watched it. And I watched it a second time. I was like, yeah, no, I still enjoy it. But I haven't gone back to it. And I don't know if that's just me as I'm getting old now, because a lot of films I don't rewatch if I go to the cinema at all. But usually I watch a film and go, yeah, I've watched that now, tick it off, move on. There are some exceptions. There's a lot of rescreenings coming out at Odeon, which I'm really looking forward to. Currently, so far, in a couple of weeks, actually. And I might do a review on this. I haven't decided yet. But The Mummy, the Brendan Fraser movie, with which it's celebrating its 25th anniversary, so they're putting that back on at the cinema. The memes are great for that film, so I'm going to be looking forward to that. And then I think it's August, maybe, they're putting all of the Spider-Man films on. They're starting with the Holy Trinity, the Sam Raimi trilogy. They're going into the Amazing Spider-Man films, and then they're doing the 3 Tom Holland ones. I'm fine with all of those. I'll be going to see the Sam Raimi ones, though, because apart from Spider-Man 3, I think Spider-Man 1 was that film where when it came out, it was a 12, wasn't it? And kids couldn't go and see it. And I think because loads of kids really wanted to see it, that was one of the films that helped cement the 12A certificate. And Spider-Man 2, for whatever reason, I never went to the cinema to see it. And I feel like I really missed out. So seeing that Spider-Man action and like the best Spider-Man films, in my opinion, on the big screen, that's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I think that's all I've got booked so far, unless they they do any other rescreenings. They actually had the Lord of the Rings trilogy on this week or last week into this week, I think. And I was going to go, but I thought, well, I have seen them on the big screen before and I have watched them fairly recently. So it would have been a good few evenings out where, you know, it would have just taken up an entire evening and I had some stuff to catch up on for work. So, yeah. And that was it. Anyway, I'm probably going to round this off now. It's been good chatting with you. Also, I'm doing this as a test, as I said, so I'm going to watch this live stream back now just to make sure it's a-okay. But from what you guys have been saying and commenting, it seems to be fine. Fingers crossed. So if it is, I'll pay for the membership again. We'll get it looking a bit more visual. We'll get some thumbnails back on. We'll have like backgrounds and everything. And it does mean, actually, if we were to do a quiz again, it's a lot easier to manage all of the images on here than it is on Streamlabs, because Streamlabs was just a bit of a clusterfuck with how you have to import all of the settings. It's easier to invite people on here for a stream too. Carl says, are there films you'd like to see on the big screen you haven't already? That is an amazing question. I need to think of which one. I've actually been really fortunate, and I think this was COVID that did this, because it was really COVID that prompted rescreenings of films. And over that period where the cinema was open for a bit, but it was like limited screenings, I saw a lot of old films, which was wonderful. Let me have a think real quick. I'm just looking on my shelf to see if I can think of any. I feel like I've seen most of the big ones now. The Indiana Jones trilogy would be great, actually. Now, fairly recently, I went to see Raiders of the Lost Ark in concert in London, and obviously they have the screen on the big screen, so it's not a cinema, but I have seen Raiders of the Lost Ark recently, and I hadn't seen that in a long time. Fucking adored it, and I was like, my God, they really don't make films like that anymore, do they? And it was just cool to see, especially because like Dial of Destiny from last year and the rancid just memory of that, the rancid taste of that film, it was so nice to just go like, that's how you do it properly. And you've got Indiana Jones being a fucking badass. You got Marion Ravenwood, who's a fantastically well-written, strong female character that, you know, when they don't make a big fucking deal of it, she's great. So I loved that so much, and I really wanted to watch Temple of Doom and Last Crusade, and I still haven't gone back and rewatched them yet. So if they put the Indiana Jones trilogy on at the cinema, I'd love to see them, especially Temple of Doom and Last Crusade. So they'd probably be up there for me. I actually haven't gone to see the original Alien in cinema. I know they've put that on a few times, so I wouldn't mind seeing that. I've seen Predator before. I've seen the 2 Terminators. American Psycho, I think, would be pretty fun to see. That's one of my favorite films. That might be cool to see on the big screen. I'm trying to think of something that's a bit more of a... They've done Tarantino films, haven't they? They've put a lot of those on at the cinema. Yeah. I think it would probably be the Indiana Jones trilogy are the big ones that are sticking out in my mind. Any horror film? I've seen most of the horror films, actually. I don't think I went to see the Evil Dead trilogy at the cinema. I think they put Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 on at one point. Oh, I know. I've got an answer for you. Yeah, so Indiana Jones and the Dollars trilogy. Fistful of dollars for a few dollars more, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That would be fucking incredible. And I don't believe they've done it. They might have done it at one point. I'm pretty sure Odeon haven't, though. Yeah, that's my answer. Indiana Jones and the Dollars trilogy. I would lose my mind if they put those on the big screen. Now, that's a spectacle. Spectacle of cinematography, music, acting, characters, setting, everything. Oh, God, I adore those films. I'm going to go back and rewatch those films, actually, over this summer. It's been a long time, and they're some of my favorites. Speaking of Westerns, there's that new Kevin Costner Western movie, isn't there? I actually haven't seen much from that, so I might check out a trailer for that. It's called like Chapter 1 or something, so I don't actually know if it's based on a book or if it's an original project from Kevin Costner and he's got like this big, epic, expansive idea that he wants to do. So yeah, I might check. That might be one that I check out because I am a sucker for a good Western movie, and it's been a long time. Right, guys, I am going to bounce. Thank you to everyone that's joined me tonight. It's always great catching up with you. I don't know if I'll keep the stream on my channel. As I say, it's just a test. So I'm going to rewatch it again now, make sure it's A-OK. And if it is, you can join me tomorrow with Dale for our review on Aladdin. So, yeah, I'll have times lined up. It's probably going to be like 8 or 9 o'clock, but as soon as I know, I'll speak to him now and I'll get a time finalized. I'll post it on my community. So we'll be doing a live stream for that. We'll be pre-recording one for Lion King, and then the next video going up will be that one on Monday. And we'll be back in the swing of things. And then more Acolyte on Wednesday. Oh, the joys. Anyway, hope you all have a good Friday night. Hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, and I'll catch you guys very, very soon. Take care.